Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the University Centre at Doncaster College. My name's Alan Gervin. I'm the Director of Higher Education at the University Centre. I'm delighted to welcome you to the latest of our webinar showcasing the work that we do at the University Centre. Before I hand you over to the main event, I'd like to give you a little bit of context about the work we do at the University Centre. Over the past year, we've been marking the 70th anniversary of higher education provision in Doncaster. It all began in 1949 at the High Melton campus, where a local higher education offer was provided until just a few years ago, when the University Centre was relocated to the Hub campus on the waterfront in Doncaster. Since our relocation to the Hub campus in 2017, the University Centre has continued to grow and has developed new partnerships with local universities. The educational work of the University Centre is known as college-based higher education. This term refers to the provision of university-level qualifications in a local college where there is no university on the doorstep. We provide an opportunity for the residents of Doncaster to study for a degree on their doorstep where their job commitments or their family commitments make it impractical for them to travel to local universities to study. We also specialise in teaching mature and second chance learners, people who return to education a few years or even a few decades after they left school, some without any formal qualifications at all, because now is the right time for them to study, to achieve the qualification that will enable them to gain promotion, move to the next level of their career, or enable them to change jobs and move into a different career altogether. The University Centre works with 3 universities currently, the University of Hull, Sheffield Hallam University and the University of Lincoln. These universities award the qualifications that we teach at the University Centre, which means that our students graduate with a degree from one of these prestigious universities. The University Centre offers the full range of taught university level qualifications, degrees, foundation degrees, HNCs, HNDs, master's degrees, initial teacher training and professional qualifications. And we deliver these qualifications across a wide range of subjects that are selected to directly link to the local employment market and local economic priorities. Today, I'm delighted to introduce you to the work of the Fine Art and Crafts team. And at this point, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Andrea.Sutton, Programme Leader for Fine Art and Crafts at the University Centre, who will say a little more about the work of that team. Andrea.
Hello, and thank you for joining us in our webinar this evening. Myself and Paula Elwood, one of the lecturers on the programme, we're going to take you through the creative journey that our students experience as they progress through the 3 years of the programme. There's one other member on our teaching team, Michael Bunn, who teaches fine art, sculpture and professional practice. We want to introduce you to our fantastic workshops and facilities here at the Hub, and then 2 of our current students have kindly provided their own testimonials for you. At the end, there'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions, and we'll try to answer some of these live, but my email details will be on screen at the end, should you think of questions later on, or if you want to put some questions in a more personal context. So thank you, and now I'm going to hand over to Paula.
Thank you, Andrea. The PowerPoint that you're about to see is our current degree students' work that they've sent in over the lockdown period. Play slides, please. The 4 main areas of the first year degree programme are historical and contextual, drawing and visualisation, fine art and craft processes. Drawing and visualisation underpins all areas of our degree programme. In year 1, it's all about developing your fundamental creative skills and your own visual language. You'll be visualising your ideas from primary sources in sketchbooks or any other format that works best for you. You will learn how to analyse and discuss your own work and that of others. You'll also learn how to become a reflective practitioner whilst developing technical skills in all practical areas. In the first semester, visual elements and principles are explored through experimentation of different materials, processes and techniques in both fine art and in crafts. In fine art, your drawing and visuals are taken through into print, where you will be introduced to lino, collagraph and screen printing techniques. These are then developed further through into collages or taken into paintings. You will rework and reuse these visuals in other areas. For example, it could be a surface design for your ceramics or printed fabrics for your textiles. At the end of the first year, all your work interlinks to produce a coherent body of work. You will also be introduced to also develop 3D visualization skills through maquette making and sculptures. You'll be introduced to our metalwork area, where you will learn how to use the welding and fabrication equipment, plasma cutter and other metalwork techniques to produce wire and metal sculptures. In ceramics in the first year, you are introduced to all the basic hand building techniques, such as slip casting, coil and slab building. You will also be using a wide range of decorating materials and techniques, including oxides and glazes. You are taught all the fundamentals and technical knowledge of ceramic materials and processes, so these can be developed further. In textiles, you will be introduced to batik, tie-dye, machine and hand stitching, to name but a few techniques to produce samples of textiles art through the manipulation of materials. In historical and contextual, in the first semester, it's a brief introduction to modern and contemporary art. And throughout the year, you will develop research and presentation skills, including essay writing. Now I'm going to pass you back to Andrea.
Thanks, Paula. The focus in Year 2 is to apply these processes, knowledge and thinking tools you have gained in Year 1, and to develop an individual studio practice. I'm now going to show you some of the project work from our current second year students and discuss the structure and objectives of this middle year. So could you play the slideshow now, please? In Year 2, you can choose to continue to work in a broad range of media and processes, or to specialise in an area of your choice. For example, painting or ceramics. You write your own proposal for the studio work and also undertake in-depth research into the work of other artists that inspire the area of your practice. This critical study helps to position your work within a context. You also research and develop the concepts and themes that are underpinning your work and begin to understand what and how your work communicates messages and meanings. There is a module in professional practice where you create a traditional and also an online portfolio to present yourself and your work in a professional manner. You also undertake a collaborative project or exhibition, often working in smaller groups. So the images we're showing you are from our current second year students, and they show how sketchbook work and visual source materials develop into final pieces and a body of work. I'm sure that you can see the variety of directions that these individual students have chosen. So we're currently looking at a textile piece that's being used quite conceptually to try to sort of express personal ideas from this student. She's been using a sewing machine for the text to get her ideas across. Here's a student who's specialising in ceramics, and I can see all the ideas here that she's trying to come up with before producing these 3D outcomes. Students use iPads and Photoshop as drawing tools also. And you can see these more sort of illustrative type of outcomes. Here's a student producing a craft product, cushions in this case, using screen printing onto her fabric. And also using drawing and painting as an underpinning way of getting her imagery together to transfer to these products. Thank you. All the modules of year 2 prepare you for your 3rd year, which entails a final major practice, a personal live brief project, and also a dissertation. So in the transition between year 2 and year 3, students begin researching their dissertation topic and they begin planning their extended practical project. I'd now like to share with you some of the current major projects and examples of live brief that students have undertaken this year. Could you play the slideshow, please? These ceramics vessels have been produced by Katrine Barber. Katrine has specialised in ceramics through the 2nd and 3rd year, and she's been invited to showcase her work at the Leeds Crafts Gallery. And she's also recently been featured in the international journal Ceramics Monthly. Sophie Buckley is selected to study art therapy techniques. All students select a dissertation topic that is directly related to their practice, and they use the research to underpin their practical work. This work by Kim Farr has been inspired by outsider artists. And Rosemary Elliott has specialised in portraiture and wrote her dissertation on the subject of female portrait painters. There is no house style of working, and as you can see, the students' artwork is very diverse and individual. We encourage students to find their own path of creative intention. Some students select a more illustrative direction and utilise the traditional printmaking facilities and drawing approaches to produce dynamic graphic works. You can see this in the portfolio of Elizabeth Woolsey. And these figurative illustrations tell a personal and cultural story, and they were produced mural sized for a recent exhibition. This professional practice is an important part of the programme to prepare students for a career in the creative industry. All 3rd year students undertake a personal live brief. These images show our students delivering artist workshops in schools and several external exhibitions that they have presented. Students can work with our collaborative partners, including Doncaster Market and the Emerging Art Fair, where several of our students have been awarded prizes for the best exhibit. We work with the New Fringe, where several current 3rd years are now on the committee and helping actually direct the future opportunities for the arts in Doncaster. You may have attended or even taken part in some of their recent projects, such as Art Bomb, curated by Sasha Gray. And these final slides show one of our final exhibitions of third year work held at the Point Gallery in the centre of Doncaster.
Is it on me? We're going to show you a video in a minute that shows you our facilities at the hub. So if you could play the video, please. So welcome to our print room. As you can see, we've got multiple printing presses for different printing techniques. There are two different sized roller presses. These are used for collograph printing, etching or dry point. Got an old Albion printer here and an Eagle press. Here, these are used for lino and relief printing and other various mono printing techniques. There is also another part to the print room that's not shown here, where we've got 3 large screen printing beds, a light box and a t-shirt printing press. We also have the equipment and materials to do lithograph printing here, as you can see on this stone. So the room is covered with artwork of past students and master printers. Its print room is well equipped for traditional hands-on printing techniques. And Andrea's going to talk to you now about our studio spaces.
Each art course at the hub has its own studio, a base room. This is an important area where all students from the programme can come together, and it creates an exciting environment for interaction with other like-minded creatives. In the studio, all students have their own individual workspace and wall area, a place to pin up your current work, notes, thoughts and inspirations from other artists that all drive your practical projects. These are always the starting points for discussions in the studio with your fellow students, and also the regular tutorials you receive with the teaching team. This is the degree studio, which is built to provide a defined area for each year of the 3 year groups. This is the second year area actually, and you can see just how much practical work students are gathering around them. So there's textile samples and ceramics. This is a studio space of a student that is actually specialising in ceramics, and also here are students that specialising in drawing this year. All this work that's up on the walls, it just adds to this creative atmosphere of the space. And these visual wall spaces are constantly changing to reflect your current work and interests. The studio also houses a number of computers for your use, a large format scanner that students often use at Photoshop, and there's a textile area workshop that provides a teaching space but also open access to equipment such as the sewing machines and wax pots.
The first area that we're going to go into is the slip casting and plaster area in our ceramics workshop. You can see here we've got a variety of plaster moulds, both bought and handmade, that we use for our slip casting technique. There's 2 plungers here containing earthenware and stoneware casting slip. In this area is where we mix and work with plaster to keep it separate from the other areas. Just going to shimmy along now to the glaze area. So in the glazing area, you can see there's buckets that contain stoneware glazes. Some are commercially bought glazes, but most we mix ourselves from raw materials. In this area is where we do different glaze applications. We've got spray booths for larger pieces. You can see some examples of some glass work on there as well. These shells show the different processes of the ceramics firing. You can see examples of students' work here at different stages. So there's a lot of work that's just been left at the moment. That's ready for glazing, unfortunately. This area, we've got a top loader kiln, two large electric kilns. Sorry, I want one bit. One's for bisque and oxidation firing. There's also a crafts kiln and a small glass kiln. At the other side of the workshop, we have a small raku kiln, as well as a forge and a welding and fabrication equipment in our metalwork area. Just going to be moving into the hand building area now. So this is the main space in the workshop. As you can see, we've got a number of potter's wheels for throwing. More examples of students' work. Here we have the slab rollers for slab building, and we've also got a pug machine and an extruder for making coils for different hand building techniques. And I can't wait to get back into that workshop. I'm now going to pass you over to Andrea.
Thanks, Paula. You can see why we're so proud of our workshops, and this ceramics workshop is honestly one of the best in the country. The programme is delivered through a combination of taught workshops in these facilities that you've just seen and studio practice, supported by regular tutorials. The historical and contextual content is delivered through lectures, some online, and research projects. There's an expectation of students to work independently and also to engage in some online content. Your course team, together with the academic enhancement team here, will provide you with the support you need to access all of these resources. So now we'd like to introduce you to two of our current second year students, Emma Bennett and Vicky Harrison. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Emma. I'm on my second year of Fine Arts and Crafts degree. I decided to do this course because I'm interested in all crafty things, and obviously I'm a bit older, so my kids are a bit more grown up now. I've always been in an admin background, so I just thought, right, I'm going to do something what I really enjoy. So I'm concentrated on sewing and applique, which I've never sewn before until last year, but it's something that I really enjoy. The support we get from the tutors is great, and I've made lots of new friends as well.
Thank you. So yeah, that's Emma, who's one of our second year students, and we're now going to introduce you to Vicky. Thank you. Can we play the video from Vicky, please?
Hi, I'm Vicky, and I've come to this late in my life. I'm 63, but I've dabbled with arts and crafts and really interested in things. So I'm now getting stuck in and getting a degree out of this with the hopes that I can achieve something that I'll be able to sell for it later in my life. At the moment, I'm dabbling with colours on ceramics and experimenting with different textures and things like that. I never thought I'd enjoy this so much. I'm in a class of like-minded people, and it's just great. We all bounce off each other and help each other, and it's really wonderful. I love it. It's great.
Thanks, Vicky. It's great. I would like to say from that we are really proud of the diversity of our student profile on this programme, and we invite applications from students that are completing A-levels and foundation courses, but receive many applications from adults returning to education to either change career path or that simply desire an experience of creative and personal development. So thank you. That's the content that we wanted to show you. So now myself and Paula, we're here to answer any questions you might have for us. But if you'd like to contact me personally with any queries, my email details will be displayed at the end of the webinar. So thank you very much. I think one of the things that I would like to discuss, or one of the questions that's with us all at the moment, is how we are going to start delivering this programme in September. And as we've just shown you, all these fantastic, wonderful facilities and workshops that the programme is based around, I just want to ensure everyone that in September this programme will run, and it will maybe be more staggered. So there may not be the 3 years of the programme in at any one time, but we are still wanting to deliver to you this same experience. Thank you.